Last Action Hero 1993 is one of Hollywood's strangest experiments. It tried to mix parody, fantasy, reality, and explosive action in one movie at a time when audiences didn't understand meta-comedy. The production was rushed, the rewrites endless, and the marketing pushed harder than almost any film of the 90s. Yet behind all the chaos are weird stories, bizarre decisions, and odd behind-the-scenes moments that make this movie unforgettable. Here are 15 extended weird facts that reveal why this film became a cult classic long after its box office failure. Fact 1. The original script was a dark and violent satire. Written by two young writers who later created Rick and Morty. Their version mocked every action hero trope with brutal humor. But when the studio took over, they hired big-name writers to soften the jokes. Every week a new draft arrived, confusing the cast because scenes kept changing overnight. By filming time, nobody knew which version of the story was the real one. And even the director said he was juggling too many tones at once. Fact 2. Arnold wanted the movie to be clever and self-aware, something that made audiences think about action heroes. He suggested ideas for Jack Slater to slowly question his own reality. But the studio kept removing anything too smart, afraid viewers wouldn't understand. This constant tug-of-war between satire and blockbuster spectacle made the film feel like two movies glued together. Arnold later admitted the movie should have stayed closer to its strange original tone. Fact 3. One of the craziest marketing plans in movie history came from this film. Sony wanted Last Action Hero to be the first movie advertised in space. They proposed launching a NASA rocket with the movie's logo printed on the side. NASA quickly said it wasn't possible, but Hollywood insiders said it was the moment they realized the studio had lost control. The failed stunt became a running joke among executives for years. Fact for Charles Dance, who played Benedict, loved acting like a stylish villain. But when wardrobe forgot to give him the fancy outfits he requested, he taped a sign to his chest that said, "I asked for a better costume." The cast and crew laughed so hard they took photos. Dance later said this role let him go wild in a way he never could in serious dramas. He even joked that he would have filmed a whole spin-off about Benedict. Fact 5. The cast begged the studio not to release the movie near Jurassic Park. Spielberg's dinosaur film had massive hype, and everyone knew it would dominate. Arnold warned the executives publicly and privately that releasing a week after it was financial suicide. But Sony insisted on the date, thinking Arnold's name alone would compete. The movie was crushed so badly that executives later confessed it was the biggest scheduling mistake of the decade. Fact 6. The outdoor premiere was meant to be a huge celebration, with a giant inflatable screen and thousands of guests. But halfway through, the entire sound system crashed. Tech crews scrambled to fix it, while the audience waited in the cold night air. Reporters joked that the premiere was as chaotic as the film itself. Many reviewers said the awkward silence was the most memorable part of the night. Fact 7. Despite being a parody, the movie had real explosions, real fire, and big stunts. Arnold performed several of them himself. One mistimed explosion sent him stumbling backward and injured his hand. He had to attend interviews with visible bandages. He joked that even fictional explosions hurt when you were the one standing closest to them. Fact 8. This movie has one of the most random cameo collections of the entire decade. Tina Turner appears as a mayor. Sharon Stone walks by as her Basic Instinct character. The T-199 pops in for a silent gag, and Danny DeVito voices an animated detective cat. Even MC Hammer was involved in early promotion. The director had to cut multiple cameos because the movie was starting to feel like a Hollywood parade instead of a story. Fact 9. Whiskers, the animated cat, originally had a huge role, including a full action sequence where he chased criminals across rooftops. The animation team worked for months, but the costs exploded far beyond the budget. The studio cut the entire sequence, leaving only seconds in the final movie. Those few seconds are still some of the most expensive frames in the whole production. Fact 10. Austin O'Brien played Danny with natural reactions. Whenever loud explosions went off, he sometimes swore or reacted like a real kid panicking. The director liked this realism, but the studio demanded reshoots because they wanted Danny to feel like a classic PG-13 movie kid. Many scenes were filmed multiple times just to remove the genuine reactions that actually made the character feel real. Fact 11. Arnold believed deeply in the movie's concept. He promoted it everywhere and called it groundbreaking. After the flop, he refused to talk about it for years because he felt the film didn't get a fair chance. Later, he said the idea was ahead of its time and that the final script wasn't polished enough. But he still called it one of the most creative projects he ever attempted. Fact 12. Benedict, stepping out of the movie into the real world, came from a horror script idea about a killer who escapes from a television. The writers kept the idea because it added danger to the fantasy. Years later, other filmmakers said this same concept influenced movies where characters cross between realities. It showed how powerful the idea was, even if the movie didn't succeed. Fact 13. Reviewers in 1993 didn't understand meta-humor. They expected a straight action film from Arnold, not a movie that mocked action cliches. Many critics complained that the movie was confused or too strange. But modern audiences reevaluated it and now praise it for predicting self-aware films like Scream, Deadpool, and even parts of The Matrix. It became a cult classic long after people stopped mocking it. Fact 14. The Jack Slater posters were so realistic that theaters actually called the studio, asking when the next Jack Slater sequel would release. Some even tried to pre-order tickets. The marketing team had to repeatedly explain that the Slater franchise didn't exist in real life. Ironically, the fake movies inside Last Action Hero were more believable to some people than the movie itself. Fact 15. The poster with Stallone as the Terminator came from Arnold's personal idea. He thought it'd be a hilarious way to tease their longtime rivalry. Stallone later said it was one of the best Hollywood jokes ever made about him. The joke worked so well because fans always imagined what would happen if the two biggest action stars switched roles. Last Action Hero may have failed when it first came out, but today it stands as a bold and misunderstood movie that took risks no other blockbuster dared to take. Its strange production stories and bizarre creative decisions make it one of the most fascinating films of the 90s. Tell me the next movie you want weird facts on.